Welcome back, everybody, to episode 12 of Behind the Grind. So, holy cow, we have been playing a lot of poker lately between live and online. I am just like in the full mix of it. So, let's just continue and keep it going, keep it grinding right now. I actually would like to open up one thing real quick because I would like to get my notes going. I forgot to do that. I just logged in and I, typed in my session. I always type in, I do manual logs basically. I don't use like a tracker, but I do like to, of course, track my results. And where are my random poker thoughts? That's always something that I like to have kind of just nearby. Poker at random. Okay. Yep. Stop paying off rivers, which is like, bro, I paid off one river last night. It was only playing online. I was actually playing multi-table. I was playing live and a single table on Club Dub at the same time. That was really fun. And I did pay off a $5 river bet at NL40, which like pissed me off to the point where I'm still thinking about it like 12 hours later. But stop paying off in the river. Only over limp on the button as a default, which is something that live, bro, like I actually really feel like there's certain tables where you have to identify the person who's like always raising, because there's always, not always, like there's very frequently going to be a person who like just always raises, and there's some people who basically always limp. If the always raise person folds and the always limp people limp, you really can limp in early position in some live tables, like almost for free, like you're on the button with some weaker hands that you may not want to raise yourself, maybe like a suited connector or a small pocket pair that you might be worried about. If I limp, am I going to get raised behind and this and that? But no, some tables do play pretty snug like that, so it's actually not horrible. And then of course ranging every opponent every hand, which is just very once again playing live a little bit more frequently. Ranging opponents live is just a little bit harder because people play so much more varied. It's you never know, like you get more random stuff too, and more bad stuff, like more slow playing aces pre-flop, more like limp calling of ace king pre-flop. So you can't always like put people on the most logical of ranges. And the game kind of plays a little bit more in flow and in meta, and not exactly just the strategy and the cards. All right, so let's jump into some tables, and then we'll talk about all that at once. I want to try and search out NL40 first, because I really am doing my damnedest to try and get the heck out of micro so I can get back to small stakes. And the quickest way to doing that is to play the highest stakes micro game. For those of you who are not aware, I've been on a self-imposed micro stakes challenge. I'm pretty much halfway through it. If you can see the bankroll right now, it was excuse me, before buying in, it was about 4,500, and we started the challenge at about 4,000, and we are going to end the challenge when we get to 5,000. Very simple, but we wanted to actually complete the challenge, and it's been about a month, maybe like a month and a week or so that I've been doing this. And December was rough, bro. December was rough for variance. Like I don't really talk about it a ton, but whew, I lost a lot of big pots, man. A lot of big pots to some negative variance. And then even like to start out the new year, like both live and online, it's been rough. I'm not gonna lie, it's been rough variance wise. Literally, I feel like I'm actually playing pretty well overall. Like there was basically one night where I kind of was like donking it off a little. My first day where I went to the Lucky Lady Casino, I was a little bit like looser than average, but like for every live session I've played like since then, and basically for every online session I've played, minus a hand here and there, you feel like you maybe make a mistake, but I feel like I've been playing my A game pretty consistently this year so far. So I would attribute my negative results so far to negative variance, which is all good, because I'm actually feeling really good about my game, and I'm feeling really good about poker in general, which doesn't usually happen for me when I'm experiencing these negative runs. So I'm very happy that like the new year didn't start off right for me, and I'm still like feeling good about it. It's like that in and of itself is a victory for me. Let's see, we got 2.5x in up front. We're gonna probably have this guy could easily squeeze, but we're gonna still put in the call against this person here. It's funny, we flopped a set of fives last night at a 1-3 table, or sorry, a 1-2 table before we got moved to our 2-3 table. And that's the only set we've seen in a while. So terrible, terrible turn. Check through on the flop, and honestly, bro, like to just win this on the turn, like I ain't even mad. I ain't even mad. I would much rather that than have someone call and get a terrible river card. All right, only open seats. And sometimes, like we've talked about this before as well, but when you can't find the games that you're looking for, sometimes whoa, not what I'm trying to do. You have to make the game you're looking for. So like, there's not a lot of open, NL40 tables right now. So I'm gonna make an NL40 table. I'm gonna start it myself. I'm going to be a prop player. If you guys haven't heard of prop players before, they're basically casino paid players that will start tables. They will help keep games going, and then once the table fills up, they will get up and allow a new player to sit in. and they will, you know, just basically help the casino generate rake. And I am basically being an unpaid prop player right now because I am doing all that without the payment. Without the payment, without the rake reduction, without all that. You know, my benefit right now for it's not really, you're not really propping when you do this. I just joke about that, like using the term, because it's not really a thing that we have a lot in casinos these days. Like I feel like propping used to be like more of a common thing in the early 2000s and maybe like mid 2000s, you know, in like LA and Vegas and such. Like you don't really see it too many other places. Like I could vibe against this guy, but it's like, he bets. I'm just going to call for my raw equity and try to like, you know, hit a 2-pair trip kind of situation. But yeah, my equity comes in right now against like the actual literal hands that I'm going to play against these bad players. See like a 60% VPIP sat down and a 63% VPIP sat down. So my, you know, my payment comes in by getting to play these guys 3-handed, you know, before all the other players sit down. Like that's my edge, and that's where my edge will come from. That's where my money will come from. So that's why it's worth it to do this kind of thing. To the point where I'm even going to do it a second time because we've already filled up this one. And as soon as the table fills up, that's what's really nice about Club Dub is I actually think a lot of sites do this, but as soon as a table, they always want to have at least one empty table available. So as soon as I start a table, if I get one opponent, I can just start another table right after. Maybe I'll even start starting tables more frequently just to A, show you guys how to, and B, it just is nice for, it's actually nice for a number of reasons, because the hands that you get in, you're going to get short-handed hands in. Like, look at these other hands. We're playing 8-handed. It's tough to play 8-handed, man. Like, I've played, even at this point in my life, still, like, most of my poker has been, quote-unquote, short-handed, you know, 6 max or less. And I think that, like, you know, 4 or 5-handed is, like, such a great, you know, rhythm. But most importantly is you get so much more hands in if you can play this format. You get a lot more hands in per hour. 8-handed is slow. Heads up is fast. 3, 4, 5-handed is so much faster. But this, soul tier. God, man, I'm getting like every bad turn and river card against this guy, but that's okay because it's only been like 5 hands. It's easy to forget that fact sometimes. It's like, oh yeah, it has only been like 2 orbits. We'll call it the 3-4. We will min raise the queen high. Great flop with the 3-4. I think we're going to try and go for an XR just because it's like such a vulnerable situation. Click the 167, yeah. And then we're going to go 40. That's good. 1 BB. Damn, he calls. Has such a big bet too. I'm going to fold. This guy's a little more aggressive, not quite as bad as these 2 players. Like I'd hope for a weaker opponent to pop in here and then kind of help me out. Whoa, Capitan. Big 4X action. Okay. All right, we're probably just going to go check raise, get all in on this flop here because they're like so short-handed. Or sorry, so short stacked. It's like, don't give them the respect. Treat this like you flopped like a straight, sorry, not straight, like a set, and you want to just get value because that is like how you balance these situations. I'm going to go like slightly less than all in just to like really make him think about it. Pain in my butt. Let's get lucky. Let's get lucky. We did not get lucky. Did we reload? We reloaded, okay. We did not get lucky. I mean, it was literally a coin flip from the get-go anyway. And then on the flop, it was actually a coin flip in our favor. Like pre-flop, his favor, post-flop, our favor. Well, on flop, our favor. Once we get in on the turn, he is definitely in favor. See, look at these people that join sometimes, 74-11, because they can't find a seat either, you know? They don't want to play 100, but they don't want to play 10. You know, they want to play a little in between. And I respect it. I respect it. But yeah, my goal right now is to just play. Whoa, a little hit and run action here, pal. That's okay, because I got a 74 to myself now. A little hit and run action. They're probably, whenever people do that in my mind, just to make myself feel better, I always just picture them like leaving their computer, like dripping sweat because they're so over exhilarated at what just happened. Oh my God, I just won $15. I have to take a break. I need a Gatorade. I need electrolytes. I need to rehydrate. That's the only way I make myself feel better is by making fun of the person. Oof, nice hand. You play that trash? You play that garbage? All right. So behind the grind, I know I'm not really talking too much about the poker right now, but let's talk just about poker in general, you know? Like I said, I've been playing a lot of live. Yeah, but this isn't really like a blog thing for me. This is more of like what I'm doing. But that is kind of behind the grind. Like this is all one encapsulation of the poker life, you know? This isn't just the only poker I play. So I guess I'm kind of like telling you guys how this piece, this session incorporates into the rest of my, you know, life / day to day. We'll call this turn, but this 3-bet though, they're really loose. But like this is like still the worst kind of hand to like call a 3-bet with. Okay, whatever, bro. Just show me your ace or whatever. A jack. Pfft, nonsense. Nonsense. Min raising is great when you're heads up / shorthanded because, I mean, in addition to full ring, but it's almost like even better because your ranges are just so wide that you really want to be, you know, playing a number that keeps the stack depth in proportion to your range strength. And our range strength right now is complete fucking shit. So the pots should be pretty small is like the big point. And if you want to like be exploitable and just like raise bigger with slightly better hands, like you can. Okay, pot is $1. They bet 4.4x pot. I'm gonna go ahead and not call with my 10, even though I am happy to have turned a 10. But it's just like there's just no way. There's just no way. Suited. What you call it? Suited face card. Absolutely. Suited face card. Absolutely. Technically, ace king is a suited face card, right? He jams there. But yeah, I'm just trying to variance this whole thing out. Kill the entire poker thing with the volume. You know, just play. And don't care about it. All right. Kind of a uncommon situation. Normally the table on the table 3 is like what happens. Like, you know, people play, people fill up, this and that. Dude hit and runs. Okay, cool. That's like, I mean, I don't care about that, you know, but it just sucks that he left, you know, like not that he left with my money. It just sucks that he left because then the other guy left and they probably didn't want to play heads up. They joined after. They want to play 3-handed. If we're playing 3-handed, then we can get a 4th person, this and that. So whatever. I'm just going to top off and hope that someone else joins. Oh geez. I was just going to say, like, should I raise any bigger than min? But then I see their stack size and the answer is very evidently no. But yeah, it's kind of crazy how, you know, just 1,000 hands or 10,000 hands of poker like really can't do that much in terms of like sometimes that can be a ton, you know, in terms like you can swing really big, really, you know, up or down. And then sometimes that can be like next to nothing in terms of like where you actually go, like maybe you go up a little, down a little, and then in the end you kind of like broke even or like made a little or lost a little. And that's a long duration of time to, you know, not really have progress. So like those break even stretches certainly feel like, oh man, like it's kind of weird when you're losing, like in a big downswing, you almost like feel as if you have a more distinct goal. It's like, okay, stop the bleeding. You know, like what am I doing wrong? If anything, is it just variance? You know, you kind of have like an emergency inward perspective. Like you need to have introspection and actually make sure that you're not like the problem in the situation. And then also you, you know, like probably study your game a little more, probably get a little bit better. Cause like in doing that, you have to, you know, to make sure you're not the issue, you have to study and like improve in this and that. And that's definitive, you know, when you're winning, it's like everything's easy. You know, when you're winning, you ain't got to think about it. Everything's easy. Life is good. But when you're breaking even, it's so like ambiguous. You know, it's very hard to figure out exactly why is this going on? Is it the variance that we talked about before? Is it the you know, bad play potential? Like what exactly is the situation at hand here? All right, that's so this guy's really tight, but he called. I think we have the odds to call here, overcall I should say. This sucks, but I'm still gonna flat because it's like, what are we gonna do here? Just fold? What am I gonna do? Just fold? I'll give this guy action, and I'll call. Sorry, check here. Didn't say call. We'll give this guy a little action out of the BB. I like to give people action when they sit me down because it's like, thank you for sitting at least. You know, I'm not going to be a complete net. Although 10-7 is probably a little wide for this range. We'll check call flop because we flop decent. And when we turn a gutter, so we'll probably check call again if he bets small enough. Yeah, I got to fold here, unfortunately. Just one backdoor heart and like overcard. Oh my God, if he bets small enough and then he bets 2x pot. That's got to be like, I mean, I'm blocking 10-9, but I'm just guessing it's going to be a good hand a lot of time. You know, it's also cool too, like little tech tip when you're starting tables, tank a little bit. sometimes. Like, I'm folding here, but I see this person's coming in, this person's coming in. Maybe you want to get another person come in. I don't want the table to die again. So I'm going to give the table more time to breathe so that I can kind of get it filled up a little bit. So, like, where normally you see me playing, I'm like, snap, snap, snap. I try to go as quick as possible almost always. But in those instances, like right there, it just felt like, all right, let me use my time bank for a little bit. Sometimes it's okay to use your time bank in life. Like when I'm sometimes, you're behind the grind, I always feel silly whenever I talk about this, but it's like, it's literally part of playing poker. But, I drink a lot of liquid. Sometimes you got to run to the restroom. On this site, you don't get sat out when you get timed out. So if you got to lose a hand, just run to the bathroom. If you need an extra 30 seconds, just let him time you out a hand, maybe even two, whatever. Like, probably not. I mean, just quick, like this is the gold standard, folks. I'm teaching you how to be a poker player and a person. You got to wash your fucking hands after it, and you got to use soap. Okay, so you got to do both those things. And then and I'd rather lose a hand or like a smidge of equity than my fucking sanitation. Okay, and it's like, after being a guy for 30 plus years, like, you wouldn't think that you would need to like make this a PSA, but men, wash your fucking hands. Wash your fucking hands. Especially live play. Holy shit, dude. I can't believe the amount of people I see go into a casino, use the urinal, and then walk straight out. It's like, and then you see them at your table. And it's like, you want to walk over there and just fucking hit them with the fucking hand sanitizer, drench them in it. And it's like, all right, now you can play poker again. That should be a fucking war crime, bro. Should be able to impose the Geneva Convention on someone who uses the restroom and then doesn't wash their hands and then goes back to play live poker. Like, that is chemical warfare. That is assault. All right. No more sanitation strategy. But really what the strategy built into that was most poker sites are going to time you out. Oh, no, the Zoey cam's been on. I'm sorry. Zoey cam's been on the whole time. She's sleeping on the floor, so I don't want to disturb her. My bad, y'all. 16 minutes of the Zoey cam blocking it all. But that's all good. But yeah, you play live poker, you start to think about other things. What's kind of funny too, is I was thinking about this earlier today. The difference between live and online poker. People make the difference between live and online poker seem like it's night and fucking day. Whereas I look at the Venn diagram overlapping these two things as a very, it's like 90% overlap, honestly. There really is not, I mean, maybe like 80% overlap, but like the things that matter, like the things that are different aren't necessarily the things that always matter, So let's go 7. People, the live tells that you're going to get aren't always going to be super important. Probably boned here, but whatever. What else can I do at this point, And here we bet. What do you got, bro? Top hand. 6s? Lucky ass me. How do you call the 4-bet, dude? Like, whatever. Anyway. Like the live tells, sure, yes, you can get some shit out of that. And things like, you get to see what people are doing and this and that. And I guess that's all built into live tells, but the game is still the game, is all I'm really getting at. Like, people don't respect the fundamentals of Hold'em enough when they say stuff like that, in my opinion. They're trying to make it seem like live poker is this just completely amorphous thing that can kind of be whatever. And it's like, no, bro, we're still playing Texas Hold'em. We're still playing 2-card Texas Hold'em, like 2 in the hand, 5 in the middle, play your best game. And right now, the difference between live and online is actually quite vast with like the structures, especially clubbed up with the antes and the 3 blinds mandatory and this and that. Probably gonna lose every penny that I just won to this guy here because he's gonna bink a set against me or something, but whatevs. I think just right? No, the pot's big enough, dude. Pot's big enough. Like, what am I gonna do? Anything else? If he had checked, then we don't jam. But when you bet that big, we gotta. When you bet at all, bet like, why are you donking quarter pot anyway? But when you bet, we have to jam because now any raise is stupid if it's not a jam. But yeah, so the biggest differences, there's 2 big differences. Okay, like that actually make a foundational impact when you're going from online to live or vice versa. One, you can see it clicking down right now, is the shot clock / time bank. When you're playing live, of course, you have effectively, not literally, but effectively infinite time. There's what I like to call the social shot clock. So like you will get looks, you will get stares, you will get people being like, come on, man, if you're taking like forever. But very rarely do you see people actually call the clock. Very rarely is it an actual issue. And normally when people are thinking a long time, people will give them respect because it's a genuine big decision for them. It's maybe the first time they've had a $500 decision, $1,000 decision. And it's so easy, bro. I was last night, I met this one homie, super cool dude. And he was telling me a story, and I was thinking to myself, I'm like, bro, if he was telling the story to Reddit, these motherfuckers would rip him apart because of how, like, it's just a poker hand that he's talking about. And they're just like, and people make it seem like everyone's been through everything and it's cool to be fucking, nonchalant about everything and this and that. And it's like, bro, some people haven't played a million plus fucking hands of poker. Some people haven't played for 2 decades. Some people are just living in the moment and they want to share an experience with somebody else. And you're kind of a fucking asshole if you don't take that at face value. And if you don't take that, like, take them as a human and their experience as their experience. And so as I'm listening to this, I'm like, trying to empathize with him because it was like more of like a bad beat kind of situation, but really it was more like a brain fart kind of situation. It's actually a really funny story. Look, in the end, I didn't think he was going to go to where it actually went. I thought he was going to tell me just like, and then on the ace hit the river, kind of like, oh man, you lost. But no, it was actually a really funny story. Maybe I'll let him tell it someday because homie was cool. I got his IG. We're friends now, but when I was doing that, I was like, yeah, these are like the little differences in that some people are gonna have a lot of experience and they're going to be, brand new to it. And some people are going to be like complete grinders. And that's not like a huge difference between live and online, but you're going to get to understand that a little bit more when you're playing live. But okay, so the time bank thing, that's the first big difference. I don't know why I got off onto that other tangent. I apologize. But time bank is one big difference. Okay, in the showdowns, the way showdowns work online versus the way showdowns work live are like completely different because typically live, you're not going to basically get to see every card every time someone shows down. The cards are hidden much more frequently. And you just kind of have to make some assumptions if you don't want to be a dick about it, is the only way to really word it, Sure, anytime any hand goes to showdown, you can say, I want to see those cards. I want to see those. But doing that makes you look like such an asshole, okay? When the person just lost a big pot and they're not feeling happy and they're maybe a little embarrassed and like just I feel like I take it probably better than 90% of people, and I don't like to lose money in poker. No one likes to lose money in poker. Everyone fucking hates it, okay? And even if you can smile and tap the table and be friendly to everyone afterwards, you still don't like it inside. So basically, when someone... let me just bet here real quick. So like when someone loses a pot, and you can tell that they're upset about it, don't fucking ask them to show their hand, bro. Because that is going to make you look like such an asshole. It really is. And the information that you gain from that is not worth the dignity that you lose, the respect that you lose, and the action that you're going to lose. People are not going to want to gamble with you. You know who people want to gamble with? Fun people. You know who people want to lose money to? People they like. People don't mind losing money to people that they like. People don't mind gambling with people they like. They don't mind giving action. Literally, like, talk about the difference between live and online. You're never going to hear someone online because you can't talk to them, hear them say, you want action? Because literally when you hear that live, that means I got a shit fucking hand, but I will play with you if you're okay with me potentially busting you right now, breaking your hand with this garbage. And anytime someone asks that, I'm always like, hell yeah, I want action because I do. I want your action. Always want your action. So you'll get that more when you're not let me show their cards. Let me see their cards. You're not going to get the person saying, going to get action. They're going to be a nit. They're going to fold to you. And they're not going to play cool with you. They're not going to be fun with you. And some people, no, rephrase. Most people, vast majority of people that go to the casino to play poker are going there to have fun. They are not going to grind. They are not going to make money. They are not pros, semi-pros, this or that. Especially, like, judge your room and judge your moment too. And like, you can't be the same person every place, I was playing at Lucky Lady last night, and Lucky Lady is a very chill, relaxed, small poker room. Small as in like cozy small, good small. It's great small. Sometimes small is not good. This is perfect. I should have called here actually, bro. No, he's probably got the ace. like the biggest game that you can play there is 235 usually, and it's usually in the stream room. So it's like most people usually aren't playing that game. Most people are usually playing either the $5 bomb pot PLO game. That's like the biggest game that normally plays. The 2-3, which is what I usually play, or the 1-2. And sorry, right here. And like the whole vibe lends itself to just like casual and chill. Whereas the other day I was at the Hustler. I was playing 5-5-10. When you put on the straddle, it's 5-5-10-20. $1,500 buy-in. The vibe is just a little more serious. You know, people got like 4 or 5K on the table sometimes. And people play a little more as if it's like that's where you're going to have games who are people who are professionals, who are grinders, who are, I should have bet this turn, I don't know what it was. I was just like, I mean, 3-bet pot, weird spot. I just kind of want to see what they have, this and that. We'll check call here. Open up here. But it's clear the vibe changes, you know? And then like just another night after that, I was playing Hustler 5-5 because the 5-5-10 wasn't running, you know? Not quite as serious of a vibe. You got more people coming in for smaller buy-ins. It's only a $500 cap. Wait, it's the $500 or $1,000 cap? $1,000 cap. But still, sorry, I was talking. I didn't even see what you had. Whoa. Okay, he's only got 20 bucks or 20 cents. $2. $2 is what I meant to say. I said 20 bucks, 2 cents. The two extremes. He's right in the middle. $2. I go 80. You go to. Oh, but you're a little wonky balonky. So we're gonna call. Ooh, top. He got 185. Jesus, bro. And I didn't reload this last hand, so that's actually kind of good because I may get stacked. Ooh, he snap checked back. He's gonna bet. I don't think he's gonna bet. Honestly, I don't think he's gonna bet when he checks back the turn, so I'm gonna bet myself. But yeah, so the biggest difference between live and online, like, you know, when I'm talking about that 90% different, or that 90% being the same, or that 80% being the same, the biggest difference is, you know, call it 80%. 10% of it, I think the big difference is, or like call it 9%, would be the times. You know, you don't have a shot clock live, you don't have to pay for a time bank live, and then the other 10% would be the way showdowns are handled, / the way that you get to see players' cards. You know, like on Club Dub, there's no pay to see. I mean, you can of course offer someone, hey, here's 10 bucks, can I see your fucking hand? You know, that's of course an option, but they can always say no. Whereas in here, you click that button, you give the casino the money, they're showing you their cards. You know, how funny would that be if I go, hey dealer, here's 2 big blinds, show me everyone's cards. That would be wild, bro. That would be an actual, like, a lot of people wouldn't play live if that was a feature. I'll just say that. A lot of people wouldn't play live. But then again, I don't think a lot of people would use that feature either if you know, they made it like reasonable enough. So it depends. That's what, but I've even considered, because of Club Dub, trying to implement that strategy into my life, being like, not paying to see, but here's how I thought about it. This is like a little, this is a weird one actually. This is a weird strategy that I have not talked about before and I've not seen anyone use. But okay, so say I'm in a tough situation. Say, like, you know how we talk a lot about where a lot of our value in these small to medium stakes games come, and even bigger stakes games, honestly, the way that I watch, it's going to come from like your good but not great hands. You know, your top pair top kickers, your medium 2 pairs, you're like the hands like that are like vulnerable but like still very, you know, ahead of your average hand. Okay, so like say you're in a situation where someone, say you're playing like 1-2 and you bet on the turn, you know, the pot's $100 and you bet $80, and someone rips it in for like 300, and like the flush just came in, but you have 2 pair and you really think that they probably have the flush, but there's just a smidgen of doubt. What I will say sometimes, or what I've been thinking about strategically, is just to try to like make myself feel like I got the proper fold, is if, say, you know, that was right there, I'll put $40 out, and I'll flip my hand over, and I'll be like, bro, if you can show me a worse hand, this money's yours. Here's 40. You show me a worse hand right now, this money is yours. And it's like, do you know how many people are going to take you up on that? If they have a bluff, they're going to flip their hand over, they're going to make the table go, oh, and they're going to take that $40. Whereas anyone who doesn't take that money, they can't fulfill the offer. They literally don't have what's required to meet your wager. Therefore, they must have the hand. They must have the nuts. Or they're really committed to the bet and they're going to bluff and they're going to keep their $40 and they're not going to show their hand. And it's like, I just don't fucking believe that most people would do that. And I think you could even offer less, could probably offer 10, $20 to people. Hey, bro, 20, you show me a bluff, this $20 yours right now. Show me a hand worse than mine right now. You ain't got to show your hand. You can just say, show me a hand worse than, say like that. You ain't got to, literally don't got to show your hand at all. Don't even give the information up. Just say, show me a hand worse than top pair on this board, and this $40 is yours. This $20 is yours. And the amount of people that am wagering won't be able to show me that is pretty high. So that's something I've never done before. I've thought about it in like the last, 4 or 5 days. I'm like, there's probably a way that I could, use a financial post, like call it a sixth street leverage, like, because people have said, here's $10, show me your hand, I'll pay you to show me your hand. Situation like that, very similar, before the cards get thrown in the muck, like real quick, like, hey, you, $20 if you can show me a bluff. $20 if you can show me a bluff. And most people probably, if you are in the moment, won't be able to show you that bluff. And if they do, then you picked up that information. $20 is a better number than 40. I don't know what the fuck I went with 40 for. Because, like, who could resist 40, bro? I think we'll flat with the suited king on the button. Flat with the suited king on the button. I have not really been talking too much about the poker hands right here because they've all been super standard. But as always, if anyone has any questions about this stuff, please let me know. I actually don't mind. Like, this is a super high variance play, but I do this all the time with like aces, kings, queens. It's like, oh, I have, like a 1.8x pot bet. I'm just going to get all in with their 10x, and I get folds all fucking day. That's why I just jammed right there, even though I didn't really have shit. Because players like him are just too wide. They just have too much in their range when they got the 63%, VPIP going. Too much in their range. But yeah, so life has been pretty poker lately. Pretty poker lately. I have honestly, today's the 11th of January. I can say with pretty decent accuracy that I spent at least 90% of my waking time focused on this game, compared to, like, I haven't played a single game of Fortnite in 2026. I'll log on to, you can go into like a custom map and do like some aim training, and I'll sit there sometimes and for 5 minutes to get my XP to build up my battle pass. I've played like maybe 1 or 2 rounds of Arc Raiders, maybe 3 at top. Like, so I played the game for less than an hour for sure. And in November, I think I played the game for like 120 hours. So I'm 100% committed to making this work. Been playing a lot at Lucky Lady and Hustler. This is today's Sunday. So 8 days ago, not yesterday, but last Saturday, the Saturday before, I went to Lucky Lady for the first time, and then Hustler the night after for the first time. And I've played 5 sessions total in that, 7 days. And then tonight will be session number 6 in 8 days. So I've been playing a lot of live, and I'm going to continue that as well. But I want to really just pump up the volume and try to get the variants sorted. I think actually, yeah, just go actually more than his stack because of, just in case the other dude cold calls now, the big fish in between. Like this guy here, Husky Doug, if he calls, we want to have the number be pretty big. Because before it's like, yeah, exactly, bro. Now we can just ship like every flop. Well, not that one. I never bet top set on the flop. I just can't. It's like a sickness. It really is. Like, I refuse. I absolutely refuse. I can't. It's like my mix-up hand. Like, I have to use it to mix up my checking range. Absolutely have to. I love with the deuce 3, bro. God damn gorgeous. You love to see it. $13 cold pre-flop with the deuce 3 suited. Could never consider folding. Like, why would you fold? Like, what is there to fold for? But yeah, that actually worked out like unbelievably perfectly. Honestly, the worst part about that hand was flopping the top set because we didn't need it. We didn't really want it, although I guess it did give us protection in the end there. Yes. Sorry, I want to play this suited connector, but not for $5. Now I just got king high, which is probably good, honestly. I was considering betting the turn, but I just didn't think I was gonna get him. You know what? That's such a stupid ass. I'm a fucking dumbass, bro. I literally was gonna say I wasn't gonna get him off of anything that was better, but it's like, bro, there's so much worse he can call me with, though. It's a value bet, you fucking moron. I don't know how I didn't see that. That king high is a value bet on the turn because he'll call you with so much worse. God damn it. Anyway, yeah, sometimes you just miss shit like that. But no, sometimes like ace high and king high really can be a value bet on draw heavy enough boards, especially in position when you're betting the turn and you can get them to check the river to you. So when everyone misses, you can just check back and realize your equity with your showdown value. Like, that's when it's like, oh, I'll tell you, like, betting like ace high on the flop and turn for value against draws and then winning unimproved on the river is like one of my favorite things in poker, because it just feels like you read their hand so perfectly. And when they don't get there, like, how many times do they not get there and you have like a set or you have 2 pair and you just don't get any value? But when you get the full value and you don't want to have to bet on the river and get a call. It's like, oh my God, bro. That's some good shit. Some good stuff. All right, let's do a quick little fish report. We got, and I was gonna say, I think my fish report's gonna be pretty fucking good right now. We've got, ooh, not as good as I thought right down here. Only 42? Damn. All right, we got 60 right there. All right, yeah, we only got a 42 right there. That's kind of schmeh. I'll have to leave table 3, I'm sure. But table 4, delightful, and already. Oh my God, well, he just left, but this guy's not bad. So we can still keep this one for a moment. Let's go to here. Hold on a sec. Stand up, sit down, move 1 seat closer here, and I won't lose my BB position because it's going to go for dealer 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Give me a minute. God. All right. Fuck. We should have left this table down here. Whatever. So only table 3 is really the worst one that we're going to leave. Get some seat time going. All right. I like standing to start my day because it's, get the blood flow and all that good shit. But after I've been standing for a while, I do like to sit just to conserve my energy. Especially because I would love to play for we've been recording for half an hour. And I haven't been playing a ton of online because of how much live I've been playing. So I wouldn't mind putting in 2 hours right now. But yeah, really the number one biggest thing that I'm still focused on, and it's in my notes right here, where we talk about it almost every time when I start my sessions. I got to stop paying off rivers. I really do. The amount of times that and hasn't been a lot this year, but I would say that if that was the one thing that I was just never bad at in poker, which most people are, folding the river is a very, very, very hard thing to do. I maybe would have doubled the amount of money that I've made in poker, which is not a great number, but it's not a bad number. It's not a terrible number, but it definitely would be more. I think it's good to call here, even though we're in the worst blind. Just getting such a good price. Plus I didn't even check the stats. I'm not gonna lie, but players don't really raise from the blinds that often, even when they are aggressive players. So it's all Gucci. We're actually gonna dunk on this flop here. I know we're 5 ways, but we have 1 overcard, 1 gut shot, 1 backdoor flush draw, and we have a backdoor gut shot too. If we hit a what do you call it? A 4 or a 6 would give us an open ender backdoor. So it felt good, and then that turn card just kind of kills everything. So we just check and fold. Because now when we hit our 6, it's not even to the nuts. So forget all that. But yeah, I'm going to try to play a pretty long session right now. Then I'll chill a little with the dog. And then I will maybe even play another one before heading up. Make a small one before heading up. But we're going to go back to Lucky Lady today. In fact, while I'm here right now, I may actually just check the games. Check Poker Atlas real quick. Just curious what's going on. It's not even noon yet, Pacific time. What are you, 44-2? Cool. Just gonna bet smallish and shit my pants when they raise. Cool. That's exactly what we're trying to get value from. Four notifications. Yo, how do I change my name? Bro. It says change alias with pro, dude. Can you? I really don't want to have to buy this pro thing just to change my freaking alias. I have my name on here the same way that I have it everywhere, which is Alex Anthony. But when I go on the wait lists, it only shows up as Alex, which is fine, but I want the whole name. Or I just want it to be whatever initials I put. I usually go by AZ. I'll put A for me and Z for Zoey. A for me and Z for Zoey. Zoey dog. Zoey dog. God fucking damn it, bro. Why couldn't you just check again, man? I do not like this turn bet. I love the turn card. Don't love the turn bet, but whatever. Ooh, love that river card, though. Can we raise here? Can we not raise here? If we raise here and he jams, what do we do? Shit our pants? think we should. I think fold. I think we fold. We raise fold the river. Yeah, we raise fold the river. Yeah, it's an easy fold if he jams, bro. It's an easy fold if he jams. I don't know what the fuck I'm thinking. It's a raise fold on the river. Which is like the hard, dude, raise folding there is so fucking hard. That's what I'm talking about, bro. Is like, how do I fold there once I raise? Getting like 4-1. But dude, they got a set or a straight every fucking time they jam on you there. Every fucking time. So you have to. You just fucking have to. You have to. And it sucks, it hurts, but that's poker, bro. And you also, I think, have to raise too, because you got to get the value from worst two pairs. And we got value from top pair on the river, bro. On the river, we got value from top pair. That's just crazy. Like, dude should obviously have folded there. But damn, bro. That was a bit of a wild hand. A bit of a wild hand. This here actually kind of fucking sucks. I want to check and see if this dude will just like do the betting for me. We also get data from this person. They get to see the PFR check back. Oof. And now we get data from this person too. But I genuinely think I can maybe even raise for value here. I'm not gonna lie. I think I may actually have the best hand here. Could raise for value. Small raise, obviously. Obviously. But like we beat a lot of aces. We beat Jack X. We beat draws. Check back is fine at this point. Yep. We're kind of on point with a couple of these reads right here. Give myself a little feeling pretty good about right now. All right. Good positive variance too, man. I have not had any of this live in a while. Online's been pretty good, honestly. 2025, 2026, like all of the negative variance that I've experienced are hands where technically I didn't have to put myself in those situations. I simply am a max risk/reward type player, meaning like whenever I do have like 600 BB, I am going to play that 1200 BB pot, and I have lost like 2 of them already this year, and it's always so fucking annoying because I haven't won any either. Like I've won like a couple 800 BB pots, but like the 1200s are the ones I really want to fucking win, and the ones I really hate losing to. But you know, I'm always going to go for the gusto, you know, and what I mean by that is like max pain, max reward, max risk, max reward, max like. It's no limit. Going all in. I'm going for the big bet. I'm going for the jugular. And I know that sometimes my overpair, I'm going to value own myself into 2 pair. Sometimes I'm going to put out a big bet and they're going to call with a, you know, draw and they're going to hit and I'm going to get my equity. And I'm going to get my value even though I'm going to still lose the hand. That's just how poker is. That really is how poker is. And that's why the main thing I've been talking about today, the one thing that can kind of solidify and ensure success is volume. It's the only thing that I can do that will pretty much put me in like a 90+ percentile of success rate. Whereas if I just put in the hands at a high enough quality, you know, following my notes, folding rivers, making the proper raises, making the proper reads, it's going to be tough to lose in the long run. Like I should have, you know, 95 success rate. So 5% risk of ruin exists, but I'm confident in myself. And I'm also just like an optimistic person in general when it comes to what I can do in my life and what I think I will experience. Because like the world fucking sucks, obviously. But I still think that I'm going to have a good rest of my life. You know, I try to believe in myself. I try to believe in positivity for myself. And when I say positive, I mean like almost like luck. You know, try to just believe in luck. Try to believe that I'll get lucky. I'll keep getting lucky. I won't experience that 5%. I will be in the 95%, you know, because all you can do is just tell yourself that you will. And then hopefully eventually you do get there. I'm actually going to check this flop because I would love to see their action. If they bet huge, I can just fold. But if they like check back, then I can start playing some poker. They bet small. I'm just going to fold. I kind of just want to win pre-flop. Sure, I could have bet the flop and then bet the turn and then bet the river. Not a terrible spot too. I don't mind. And like sometimes just check giving up is also fine because you can take advantage of that kind of thing later as well. How can you take advantage of that kind of thing later, you ask? I heard someone in the comments. So, okay, we'll say you exact situation that we had before that we just saw. A natural progression of my game or a natural implementation of my game is when I flop top set, I always check it. So it's not like every time I check, I'm always going to have nothing. And sometimes, say you've been doing that a lot frequently, say you've been in a situation where you've been forced to check. We're overbetting the pot, but not by a ton. Because I want to set up stacks for a pot size bet on the turn to get all in. And there's so much equity with them on the flop to the turn that you don't want to like give them a good price. But the it's kind of just you're protecting yourself naturally. But yeah, say you're put in a situation where you have to check fold a bunch of times in a row. Maybe you broaden your check calling range to say like a top pair, top kicker, or an overpair hand where you are kind of inducing the bet now because you've check folded so many times. So I like to just play poker by quote unquote riding the wave. You know, the game's going to give you what the game gives you. Beautiful turn card, despite it being a spade. The game's going to give you what the game gives you. You just have to take advantage of it. You know, like the game moves in ebbs and flows. And oh my god, those bro. All right, we don't think he has two pair because he would have bet the flop. So like really, unless he has 10-3 specifically. See, like this is what I'm saying. Go for the gusto, bro. We have to go all in right here. Like I'm just going check XRAI. This goes going XRAI. Try to rep a 10. That's overzealous. And I'm going to go quick, too. When he bets, I'm a snap jam, bro. Just don't give him time to think about it either. Damn. Let's check. I want to see what he had. Hey. Made some money that way, too. Made some money that way, too. But if he has the flush, bro, he's calling. You don't... And the reason why we snap jam, too, is you don't give them time. You don't give them... They're going to have their time bank to think. When they bet, their first thought will probably be, what am I going to do if he goes all in? Or if they're a thinking player, they will. So the more time that they have to think that thought, the worse it is for us. We want to give them as little time to think as possible. So that's why in those instances, here's how I word it. I'm not going to give them my time bank and their time bank. They're only getting their time bank. So that's why I snap jam there. It's just back on you, buddy. Like as soon as you make your decision, back on you. And I can hope maybe that maybe, and like this is like the real big stretch right there, but they were a terrible player. Maybe I can represent a 10. Maybe I can represent that I'm just getting overzealous with a 10, and that's why they can call with their flush, even though it's like a 250 BB bet or whatever, or I guess at that whatever the BBs are. Oh, I guess yeah, it would be like a pretty big bet because we are going off of the 20-cent BB. So that's why you go with the snap jam right there. But another lucky hand that was honestly pretty well played by us. And when I say things like that, I'm not here just trying to fucking jerk myself off. I'm going to tell you guys when I play like shit, and I'm going to tell you when I play well, because I need you guys to know what I'm trying to teach for, you know, what I recommend going forward. I don't think our hand is good enough here to call. If it was suited, we absolutely could call on the button here. This is the exact kind of hand that we were hoping, or the exact kind of turn card we were hoping would hit. Overbetting on the turn is like delightful because our hand kind of sucks, honestly. Like it's not really anything, and we're not even drawing to the nuts. But with a big bet, we can represent a lot of strength. So, and they haven't really shown us anything so far. They haven't shown us any propensity that they're like in love with their hand. And if they do call, we still have king, queen, 9, ace as all of our outs. So I love that as a turnover bet spot. Excuse me. And the only reason too why I really like this flop bet too as a small bet is because of how much equity we can turn. If it's like a little bit under, if it's say 9-7-7, that's not as good of a spot because we can't turn the 9 for a gutter. We can't turn the jack for a gutter. We can't turn the ace for a gutter. Yeah. So that board being exactly the 10-8-8 was like really also nice. And then you can represent the 8 as well when you're overbetting the turn. If they don't have the 8, they're just going to shit their pants. Also, turn was an overcard too. It's like literally like one of the better spots for it. Like the big thing too, though, that I really want to emphasize why I like overbetting there is that we don't really love our hand. Like that's the big fucking thing. It's good enough to bet, but once we get raised, easy fold. Easy fold. You know the worst kind of hands to bet in that spot, to bet an overbet, and people do this shit? Like when they try to implement overbets, I think I've seen people do this and they get themselves in a tough situation. Done it myself. You don't want to overbet in a spot, like say right here, take this board on table 2. Do not overbet here with like ace 3 of diamonds, okay? Because then when someone raises you, you're like, fuck, I wanted to see that river, okay? But with my hand, I don't give a shit, man, because none of my cards are to the nuts. Not a single one. Whereas here you got 9 cards to the nuts. You really want to see the river. So don't give your opponent a chance to blow you off of a nutted hand or a potentially nutted hand, nutted draw. Whereas that hand I had before, it has equity, but it has no nut coverage. Whereas the ace 3 of diamonds there has similar equity, but a ton of nut coverage on the river. 25% of the rivers is going to give him the best possible hand. So that's the biggest reason why the overbet is good. And with the ace 3, maybe go for like a 50% bet or 70% bet, so that when you are raised, you're put in a position that you have the price to actually call and continue profitably, because most people aren't going to, price you out, basically. This guy raises a lot of hands, dude. Raises a lot of hands. We're going to defend from the small blind, which is like pretty sus, but they raise a lot of hands. And I don't mind playing out of position as much as I used to. So I try to implement that when I don't think this is going to happen, which I don't think is going to happen a lot. God damn, this sucks, dude. 5 ways in the flop. Like, how am I going to get through all 4 players? I'm not. So I'm just going to try and check, take my equity. Nice flop. Would have been a nice flop. If we called here and hit this flop, like, that would have been truly being hit by the deck. We don't need that kind of shit. We don't need that kind of positive variance. Save that for the live felt, bro. Save that for when it's $1,000 pot for me, please. Please. I'll tell y'all a little funny story, which I'll probably include. So I have a bunch of hands up, because I don't play super long sessions, but over the last, I did my one trip report about on the Lucky Lady the first time that I went there. Since I've played like 3-4 more sessions in various casinos after there, I pick up a couple hands every day that I want to talk about, a couple hands here and there. And one hand that I'll talk about, that's not a big hand, but I'll talk about probably twice, you'll hear me, this is how I like to look at poker and give myself a silver lining. Card dead, bro, all night yesterday, 4 hours playing. This is literally not figurative, like my second to last orbit I'm going to leave. And I get aces. I raise to 15 over like 1 limper, I believe. Homie who short shoves in the blinds for like $20, 21. He shoves for 21. I raise 15, shoves for 21. Folds back to me, I call. And I don't even remember what I said, but I'm like, bro, whatever you have, I hope I lose this. I'm like, lose this one, because it's, of course, just silly and superstitious. But when you lose those pots with aces, man, and it's like a big ass one, and it's like, you've been waiting all night, and it's a 200 big blind pot, 300 big blind pot, 400 big blind pot, if not bigger, it's like, oh my god, the pain, everybody. But if we get all in, I don't even know if the dude looked at his hand. And the board runs out, whatever, like king, queen, 7, jack, 7. He flips over 3, and then he flips over 7. And so I lose the 3-7 offsuit. And I'm like, yes. And I tip the dealer. I'm like, here you go, bro. Thank you so much for not making that more than a $50 pot. And yeah, that's how I will judge my variance. Like, so let that hand where I'm going to flop ace-9 of hearts, let that happen live when I'm playing 5-5-10, okay? I don't need it to happen here right now. And when I'm losing that hand with aces, thank you for letting it happen. There's only $50 in the pot, or $40-something in the pot. No, $50 with the rake, or with the blinds and such. So thank you, And of course, that's all just nonsense and silly and this and that, but that's how I like to have fun with the numbers of poker. I never left table 3, and now it's actually kind of a good table. But I actually think I will leave table 3. Quick little fish report before I do anything else. I think everything else is still pretty good. Ooh. Getting double lucky here. We were here for this person, then an even bigger fish sat even closer to us. But there, continue with the 40 is good. And honestly, I've actually really enjoyed the table starting. So maybe we'll even try to do a little bit more of that going forward. Whenever it is... Fuck. This is a fold. All day, every day. Unfortunately. But yeah, maybe we'll try to do more of that. Although right now there are 2 short tables. I'm sure one of them is one that I just left, though. So I don't remember which one that would be. That's this one here. It's 35 we just left. We'll over limp. So we left 35. So let's check out 74, see what's going on over here. And when I say that, I'm just looking at the table ID number in the top bar, because that's how you make sure that you're not like going to the same table again and again. A 52-12 is like a bad player, but not when you're playing 3-handed. Hold on. Go right. Clicked off. Go right back to 74. Who just joined? Someone just joined as I was clicking off. 29-12. No, that's not worth sitting for. It's not worth sitting for. Just to keep the session going and progressing, we're just going to add a table of 20. Or 10, or whatever the fuck we call it. Backdoor clubs is like the only enticing reason to continue here. But ass into the straight draw. Post-production AA here. I think this is the first edit I've ever made in a Behind the Grind series because I do not like to edit. But I actually muted my microphone for like 2 minutes by accident, and I didn't know how long I muted it for. So I'm like, let me come into the timeline and check it out. So I will give you guys some post commentary for 2 minutes while my real-time microphone was muted. But don't worry, you will get back to the actual action very shortly. It's really only because we had this aces hand happen like right as I was doing this, and I have my mute button right on my mouse, so like I literally just didn't see myself click it, nor could I not, and I couldn't hear myself either. So you're going to see me change that. I'll put my headphones on in the video itself when I come back, because I realized what I did very shortly. But the only thing I really wanted to talk about was on table one. So the gentleman who we 3-bet, we basically kind of ignored the first two people. That's what I'm talking about. That's the main concept of this moment here, is the opener and the caller initially were like reasonable. So I didn't even really care about them, honestly. I noticed that the player on the button was very unreasonable. So that's why I made my 3-bet before the flop so big. And that's why I made my c-bet and then turn barrel so small, because I just put them on the weakest range possible. And then on the end, I do decide to go for a shove just in case they end up with like king jack, king queen, king nine, some random nonsense, And if they did somehow have a 10 that they didn't get all in with, they're not going to fold it. And if they have like 8-8 or 9-9, whatever, they might have even gone all in with that earlier. So I really just didn't think that we were going to get value from them like any other way, and I really did want to see what they had. They only had ace high, so like that was an awesome hand to get kind of like max value. But yeah, I'm pretty much back, so I will see you guys in the real time. I don't know how long I've been muted for. Behind the grind, everybody. I don't know how long I've been muted for. Sorry everybody. That is so bad. I'm so sorry. I really am. I promise I've been giving incredible insight this whole time. Ask any questions you have. The last hand. Okay, so I'll talk about that last hand. Real quick, let me just bet this board. I was just so sure he didn't have anything at all. That's why I was betting tiny. And on the river, I went all in on the off chance that he had a king. King jack, king queen, king whatever. I have to get the value at that point. So I didn't want to get I wanted to get value from like smaller pairs and this and that, but I also wanted to get the most when he actually did river a king there. And I am so sorry. I have no idea how long I was muted for. I hope it was not too long, but honestly, the poker's the poker, y'all. The poker's the poker, y'all. I will, I'll mention that in the thing. I'll mention that like when I'm posting the video and in the pinned comment and all that stuff. It's one reason why I should play with my headphones on, because then I can hear myself when I'm muted. I can like actually tell, but I don't always like to play with my headphones on. It's kind of like annoying. But I should. I'll keep my headphones on so it doesn't happen again. I apologize, everybody. I feel very bad. But honestly, the poker is what we're here for. Like the poker does give you the value. So like the gameplay's still here. You guys got to still see everything going on. Blocker bet or check? I don't even think I need to blocker bet because this guy's so short stacked. Beautiful river card, bro. Because like the 8 pairing is like, all in. The 8 pairing is just, Snap call, bro. Snap, crackle, call. We can win against a snap call, so I'm not super worried about that. Of course, he could have a boat and the ace high flush, but he could also have a lot worse than that. Yeah, nice. I mean, we're guaranteed, we're gonna lose our stack there every time anyway, so whatever. Can't win them all. At first I was like, easy call, and I was like, wait a minute, easy call is like, we have to 3-bet here. Our hand's better than theirs. Right? Yeah. It's 80-30, bro. It's 80-30. Like, it's not that unreasonable to 3-bet an ace-10 for value. Like, I'm just such a fucking nit sometimes, because in position, keeping the SPR deeper, I do like calling. You guys know me if you've been watching this channel for any duration of time. Nice. He gave up. I thought he was going to jam on me. Really? What do you have? Oh, nice hand. But like, and so in case you guys are not like aware, or you're like, oh man, that sucks. It's like, no. That's like pretty much like what you not want to happen, as in like you don't want them to have the king, but when they have king 3 there, that's excellent because then that means they can also have queen 3 there, and they can also have, you know, whatever nonsense that they can have that's going to fold on that flop. So that's why I thought his check was a give up. But yeah, if they're going to call off a third of their stack with a suited king, like they're literally allowed to hit a king, you know, and beat your ace high. Especially when the board pairs, he was like king deuce deuce, like, you know, easiest board in the world to get all in. Especially when check 2. Now, if jammed on, it's like, okay, I guess I'm calling kind of situation. But when check 2, easiest jam in the world. I think we'll go for regular water. Lucky lady water. Let me desmudge a little bit. Desmudge. All right, we got smacked down to reality a little bit. We've been experiencing basically nothing but positive variance since we signed on today, which is delightful. I will never say no to that, given how rough the year has been to start. Honestly, well, mainly our live plays. We haven't like our biggest lucky situation is like I just haven't gotten sucked out on like a couple of hands. Like that's literally it. It's like it's not that I haven't sucked out on anybody, and a lot of my hands are getting cracked. So it is what it is. You know, I don't care about that. I'm just saying. I'm just talking for the sake of content. So yeah, so I'm never gonna feel bad about running good. Even after being up so much money in poker lifetime, you know, it's not like not so much, but you know, like compared to most people lose money. So being up anything is a good thing. And then, you know, being up, I had a good gear last year. I don't like to talk about the numbers a lot, but I had a good gear last year. And that's like I'll even with that, like I know I experienced a lot of positive variance to have that. I'm still always going to take the positive variance. I'm always going to be extremely happy. All right, there we go. We're all smudged up there. Really, Jamosaurus Rex, huh? For sure. This is actually like a really boner spot because they're still on cap, but they're very wide though. But they also, you know what? I think we're just gonna rejam. $20. I don't give a shit, bro. Like on the off chance that they do have like the hand. On the off chance that they do have like just one of the, if they're in the top 5% of hands that, you know, has one of them that beats me / dominates me, is what it is. Because this guy's just so wide, and plus he's opening 22% of hands. It's not like it's a complete net. And then this person here's only, you know, 14%, but like they seem kind of tilted this and that. But that easily could have also been a top 5% hand. So like either one of those players could have had me beat. That was not a slam dunk call. It was quite literally more of a, bro, if I'm going to play NL10, like I have to kind of play like my highest variance style because it's the lowest stakes that I'm playing. And I'm not saying I'm trying to play a lower win rate style. In fact, it's the opposite. The higher, it's actually like very common misconception, but like usually the highest variance styles are the most profitable styles. So it's like you have to be willing to go with the big swings. People think variance and they think losing money a lot is like a bad thing. And it's like, well, if you want to win a lot of money, you have to put yourself in a position where you could potentially lose a lot of money. And that is the unfortunate element of poker. What up, Weaves? Okay, cool. So got a 60 right here. Fish report. Amazing. 62, 61, 70, and 60. That is a glorious set of numbers to have on a Sunday morning. Which you would think would be an amazing time to play, but for some reason, like, it's just not the best. Like, the weekends on Club Dub just really aren't that great. That's another reason, too, why I've been loving the live life, because live, you know, from Friday to Sunday is amazing, you know, and then I can grind the, so basically, like, I can play the smaller casino, Lucky Lady, on the weekend, because it's just a natural action-packed time of the week. And then when the games are not so going, I can either go to any of the other bigger casinos, or I'm going to grind online, or both. So it's a very good mix right now. Everyone checking makes me feel like I have the best hand. Bet half pot. Bet half pot. Yeah. either were. Well, no, they could have a worse. They could have a worse hand. I'm just gonna bet small though, and then when I get jammed on, it's like when I get jammed on here, either we're chopping or I'm losing to the 5. When I get jammed on here, and I will happily pay your 5 off, sir. Really? You could have gotten 450 more out of me, bro. Sucks for you. What the fuck you thinking, dude? I'm gonna fold the ace high, the aces, the 5 full. But hey, thank you for saving me my money. I appreciate that. Running a boat into quads and not losing max value. Damn. I almost feel bad for the dude. Like, I should have reshoved just to give him the money. Be like, dude, no, you want to go all in. All in. There you go. It's kind of funny because like their odds of having 5x like actually go up when they make it a small raise there, I feel like. Because like it looks like it's just afraid that I'm going to fold, basically. Whereas like an ace jamming, it's like, all right, maybe I can get him to fold chop, or maybe, you know, obviously no one ever will, but. Okay. Middle pair open ender is worth, honestly, the whole freaking stack if he wants to go for it. But I do prefer if they hurry the fuck up. People taking forever over tiny decisions is my biggest pet peeve in poker. Pet peeve in poker. Pet peeve in poker. I think check call here is actually kind of cool because you can induce bluffs, make it look like you're going to fold. Same on the river at this point. Damn, thanks for checking, bro. Jesus. People really are odd at this game. Slash, they don't understand the value of a bet fold. It's like, bro, you are able to bet, and then when people raise you, you can fold. And then when people call you, they're going to give you their money, basically. That's why I'm trying to fold more rivers, because of how profitable bet folding is. Any other fish behind me that I can take advantage of? If no, we just go min. Just go min. Because then maybe you can induce a 3-bet or something. But to go big without a target is kind of senseless, honestly. What are we at now? An hour? All right. Getting a little winded. Because I've been talking for an hour, even though I haven't been, even though I was muted for part of it. I haven't yapping the whole time. That's one reason why I'm making these videos for like 2 hours and stuff. But also in the same element, like, I can't imagine many people are going to want to watch a 2-hour video. So maybe I will, if I did want to play for 2 hours, maybe I'll make 2 1-hour videos instead. And I'll cut this one in not too long. Okay, this guy makes it 120, but 4% PFR on the button. Small as shit, but I still got 3-bet him. Make it a big enough size so that we can just go all in on the flop. I don't want to think about the actual post-flop element of this when he's only got, like, no money. It's honestly shit for me, but whatever, bro. Because, like, every pocket pair he has is just, like, going to call happily. But whatever. I don't care. I don't care. I think we have him. I think he would have snap called with a pair already. So I think he's got, like, overcards, and we probably dominate his overcards unless he's got the exact same hand, which he probably would have just shoved pre. 5x, huh? Snap call. Suited, I think actually speculating here isn't terrible. Just because when someone raises 5x out of the smallest of blinds, range is usually pretty damn, you know, top of range. Good implied odds, all that good stuff. But yes, if you guys have any questions for the duration of anything that happened today, being when I was talking or muted or anything, just please let me know. Sorry about that, and I will wear my headphones going forward and not let that happen again. That is how I will improve. I am committed to improving. But yeah, I'm actually just getting kind of hungry, and I drank a protein shake too. But you know what? Sometimes your body just needs a little refresh. You know, I've been going at it hard. You know, like this is the first time I actually turned my computer on in like, you know, a day and a half, because I went casino last night. Or let me rephrase. I went casino the night before, came home, went to sleep, just did a bunch of chores for like 4 hours. So I basically did a bunch of work, showered, went to the casino again, came home, went to sleep, woke up, did this. So I've just been like on the grind, running around, busy. And I did want to play for a couple hours, but I can see that not happening now. 1 hour is good. 1 hour is good. 1 hour is fine. I got plenty of footage. We got up to about 5,500 hands. Beautiful. Beautiful. 60, I mean, 6,000. Obviously, we've got the 60,000, but I mean the 55. Because I'm trying to, I just count the little number. That's actually beautiful. When we said that, we were on like the exact number too. And yeah, so we're basically, I said, we're on our, just working towards 66,000. Which is basically, I started the year at like 60K hands. I think it was 60,022 hands exactly. So like, I'm basically, trying to get to my 6,000th hand of the year. It's kind of crazy that I'm almost at 6,000 hands this year, and I could basically get to 6,000 hands before the 11th is over today, and I only played 60,000 hands last year. I mean, given that I did come into Club Dub on like March, so I didn't have the full year, 10 months, but still to do 10% of that in like only 11 days is good for me. Like, it's good volume. I'm very happy with that. But here we got backdoors, multiple backdoors actually. And that's not one of them. We actually probably could have just checked on this board. I forgot that this was at like super short player. Did not look at their stack before I bet the flop. Might even win this shit, bro. I was gonna say against like 10-9, but yeah, 10 queen as well. Because like their hand just didn't smell like ace high. It's like, what ace high do you have right there? All right. I think that's gonna be it for me, y'all. I'm gonna start posting, or I'm gonna start undoing my blinds, and then we'll probably think about. Maybe I will record another, BTG behind the grind episode. This is 12. We'll do maybe 13 before I leave for the casino tonight. Maybe. No promises. If we don't do it tonight, we'll probably do it tomorrow. But any questions, comments, let me know. I gotta start making these publicly available. The main reason why I don't is very silly. It's because I don't want to make a thumbnail. I'm just too lazy to make the fucking thumbnail. But I could just auto generate a thumbnail / like not even give a shit about it. But it really doesn't. It will take 2 seconds. All I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna grab a random screen capture from the session and then put, my custom, not custom, but like, the way that I like to do my text, like with my, it's custom, I guess, with the sizing and the lettering and the color scheme that I do. Just do like episode 1, 2, 3 behind the grind, yada yada. All right, we're gonna check down here. Yeah, I want to start making these public because I think that that this is good stuff that other people can gain from as well. I would normally play this hand, but I'm done. I'm out. I'm leaving. Sorry, I made it this. You made it that. I made it this. You made it that. Let's go with this. 1, 2. All right, we up. Stand up. We out. All right. We started today at 54.14. We're ending today at, sorry, I said 54. 45.14. 45.14, and we're ending today at 46.56. So that is, it's like 3.5 buy-ins that we won, which is pretty fucking sick. Considering that we got stacked in the end there, and we lost like another half a stack too. So like at one point, that's saying that we were up about 5 buy-ins, which is wild. So that's sick. Good session. And yeah, that will be it for now. And we will probably, you know what I wanted to play later too? I haven't played the tournament all year long. The $33 at 5 o'clock. I have not played this shit all year long. I might play this today too, but I might be at the casino, but I might do both. I was playing one table on Club Dub last night, and I was playing at the casino. It was fucking sick. But yeah, so we're going to end this off for now. I'll talk to you guys soon, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thank you. Love you. Bye-bye.